Asghar Qatel, just his name scared people. He's someone who knew the darkest secrets of Iran's history. He was a monster, a hunter, a name whispered in fear. Asghar Qatel was Iran's most infamous serial killer. He terrorized Tehran in the early 20th century. His crimes were not for the faint of heart. He was brutal and showed no mercy. He preyed on the innocent. Asghar Qatel left a trail of blood and terror in his wake. His story is not for the easily disturbed. This is a descent into the heart of darkness, but it's a story that needs to be told. To understand Asghar Qatel, we need to go back in time. Imagine Iran in the early 20th century. The nation was on the verge of change. Old traditions clashed with new ideas. It was a time of both hope and uncertainty. This was the world Asghar was born into. Tehran, the capital, was a city of contrasts. Grand bazaars buzzed with life. Ancient mosques stood as testaments to a rich history, yet poverty and hardship cast a shadow over many. This turbulent era set the stage for Asghar's reign of terror. Asghar's reign of terror began subtly. Whispers of missing people turned into horrifying discoveries. His first victims were found on the outskirts of the city. Each body painted a grim picture. The authorities knew they had a serious problem on their hands. As time passed, the body count rose. The killings grew bolder. The killer seemed to vanish into thin air. The citizens of Tehran lived in fear. No one knew who would be next. The pressure was on for the police to catch the monster. A shadow over innocence. The victims and the depths of cruelty. Asghar Qatel preyed on the vulnerable. His victims were often young boys. They were easy targets, snatched from the streets. He would lure them with promises of sweets or toys. His methods were brutal and disturbing. He would torture his victims before ending their lives. Each murder bore his horrific signature. The police were baffled by the lack of a clear motive. The brutality of the crime spoke of a deep-seated rage. The city held its breath, caught in the grip of terror. The mind of a monster delving into Asghar Qatel's psyche. What could drive a person to commit such unspeakable acts? To understand Asghar Qatel, we must journey into the dark recesses of the human mind. His early life remained shrouded in mystery. Some accounts hinted at a childhood marked by abuse and neglect. Was he born evil or a product of his environment? These are questions that continue to fascinate criminologists today. It's possible that a traumatic event triggered his violent streak. Perhaps he derived pleasure from inflicting pain and suffering. Whatever the reason, Asghar Qatel remains a chilling reminder of the darkness that can reside within the human heart. The walls are closing in. The hunt for Asghar Qatel. The pursuit of Asghar Qatel was relentless. The police were under immense pressure to apprehend the killer. They followed every lead, every whisper. The city was on high alert. Finally, a breakthrough came. A witness came forward with a description of the killer. He was a shopkeeper who had seen Asghar with a young boy. The police released sketches of the suspect to the public. The net was closing in.